So hello again, everyone. Nice to see you all again this week. Hope everything was going well this past week for everyone. As always, add yourself to the quick reports if you'd like to chat or if you'd like to just announce what you've been up to. No worries. I don't imagine today's meeting being too long. At least I don't have many things I'd like to discuss personally. The agenda here is, Sagi's given his SimPEG talk tomorrow. Make sure to catch that. I can't remember what time it's at.
It'll be at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Okay. Thank you. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Look forward to it. And are there any volunteers for the talk in August, maybe on the 12th or the 19th? Or just looking for the next person on the list. If not, think about it for a little bit. You can probably send an email to Lindsay and myself, and we'll get it to the right place if you're interested.
And feel free to prod other people too who don't necessarily always come to the meetings. It would be great to get other folks. So if there's somebody that has published something or that you're curious to hear what they're up to, it'd be great to reach out and use this to bring in some other folks. So don't hesitate to, especially because we're just getting this started, to poke people and ask them to step up.
Sounds good. So I don't have anything else. Oh, I think so. Let's try for not this weekend, but this weekend after this for a meetup. Does Saturday or Sunday work better for people in Vancouver?
Let's see. Well, Sunday afternoon could be good. I have beach volleyball in the morning, so I'll kind of be there in general anyway.
And it either Saturday the 24th or Sunday the 25th.
I think Sunday the 25th would work best for me, actually.
Either of those days are good with me, so let's plan it. Let's try to start planning this thing for Sunday the 25th. Then everyone's good for that day. We'll figure out what exactly we're doing. We're likely going to the beach. Maybe we can grill up some things and just kind of socialize for a while. And, I don't know, I'll bring some bocce ball. We can play that. Do other outdoor things at the beach. We'll be figuring out exactly how we're doing that soon, but let's let's try for it on July 25th then. Okay, I'm going to move on to some quick reports here. So I've still been working through the cross gradient, and I'm getting through it, just kind of going through and making sure that all the code is, just concise, up to snuff, and getting still trying to get those, excuse me, those directives married together with some of the other things that we have in SimPEG. It's going through. Xiaolong, I did have a question. So when I was going through some of the cross gradient work that LDAT had proposed, like the way that they had implemented it with the dot product instead of the cross product, he had suggested using like the gradient operator and then like doing the averaging at the very last step. So what you had right now was your kind of doing cell differences and then like a centered difference on each cell, right?
Now, what I'm doing now here is not the central difference. It's still the forward final difference using the function from the discrete size.
Right, and then you average that value right back to the cell center before
Yes.
anything else. So it ends up as like a centralized cell difference thing.
Mhm.
When I was looking through his paper, they suggested doing like the averaging at the very last part of it. So it would be things like, oh, you multiply and then average. So it's kind of goes on the lines of like the same reason we do those operators when we have like the PDEs, right? We think about multiplying things together first and then averaging instead of averaging and then multiplying, because it tends to work better the second or the first way. And looking back at his paper, that's how they had recommended implementing it as well. And I was just curious if you had seen, like, if you had looked into any differences there.
So what's the paper you read?
I was looking at let's see, the model fusion and joint inversion paper from like 2013, I believe.
2013?
Yeah.
From the Dr. Heber?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember in that paper, the Dr. Heber proposed we can transfer the cross gradient function to the vector multiply minus a dot product, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's actually this is both way works well because I already derived the first order derivative and the second order derivative of cross gradient using the cross product and the dot product.
What I'm referring to is like a slightly like they implement it slightly differently than what you had in this pull request. It's just it's very slight, but I'm not sure. So I wasn't sure if it made much of a difference. But
yeah, go ahead.
It's a kind of a way of having to deal with those, like we talked about before, like having that weird +1 -1 +1 -1 thing in the no space operator.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious if this made it, if the way that they had suggested made it a little bit better. If I can show you,
yeah,
I can.
Yeah, maybe we can try it. I can using the derivative of the dot product instead of what we have now, and to see whether it improves.
Well, I mean, technically it should be the same.
Yeah.
But
yeah, technically, yeah, it should be the same, but just the different formulas.
Yeah, I'm gonna share that screen really quick.
Yeah.
So you can see exactly what I'm referring to. So this is the difference matrices and the average matrices. Like they're set up like this. So the step that you take is you specifically combine these into one matrix ahead of time.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So you end up taking like the difference is like kind of right here. Right. It's this, the average gets squared instead of the gradient gets squared.
Yeah.
Or things here, like you multiply these two together and then average instead of averaging and then multiplying. But I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes. That's why I was curious. Like it's really subtle. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, as we discussed before, if you end the central difference in the discretized part, and maybe we can use that instead of the average what I used. What do you think of? And then maybe we can eliminate this subtle difference.
Well, Excuse me. I'm going to play with it a little bit and see what I can find out here as well. But, well, I'll keep looking into it and see what I see.
Okay, got you.
That was the only thing I had kind of quick report going through. Lindsay.
Yeah, just a quick update. So we got the first newsletter out. So thanks everyone for help on that. And I just pasted in a screenshot of the stats. So it looks like 255 people opened it and 70 people clicked on a thing. So that's pretty cool. That actually means, you know, we're reaching a pretty a reasonably large audience. And so, you know, I think that's a positive thing for the seminars, and also, you know, for any announcements and things like that that folks have about papers, cool things you've been up to. We've got a bit of an audience that we can tell about that. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, and then just I'll repeat because Dom and Sagi joined after I mentioned this, but for the next seminars, feel free to reach out, and please do reach out to folks that you'd like to hear from, and yeah, see when people might like to give a talk. I mean, we're looking for somebody obviously for August, but if there's anybody that you'd be curious to hear from, they can pick a month. We've got an open schedule at this point, so feel free to tap some people and see if we can get this filled up.
Yeah, so we probably need like a group recruiting because somehow we need to fill in this monthly talk, I guess. Yeah. To advertise. On one note, actually, I got an email from a guy named James Clark. So I was actually connected with him in a just random conversation. So we're actually just talking electromagnetics and using that for groundwater stuff in like some developing countries. But he actually sent me an email, oh, you're giving a talk, and oh, can you actually send me a Zoom link? So I think that reach out was actually quite successful, I guess.
Excellent. That's exciting. Well, I'm excited to see who comes. We've posted it on Slack, the Swung Slack, on Twitter. We'll send out a few more notes maybe today, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a good audience.
Forward to that. Gotta figure out how to. I think it's also interesting the two people who was like said no right away to the unsubscribe list. It's a neat little.
Yeah, only two though. So.
Oh yeah, I randomly clicked no because I think there's two, and then one is saying actually no, and then there are options. I actually have to go back and then choose the options to reactivate now. But anyway.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad the emails are reaching people and they're getting information out. Devin.
Yeah, so been making some pretty good progress on the doc strings. I think maybe a final draft of all the documentation is about 90% complete now. So I have been getting some feedback from Joe along the way, and it's going pretty well. And yeah, I'm hoping to kind of find any little bits and pieces I haven't documented and kind of complete that today. So yeah, I think we're on track to having something maybe we can almost release in a week or two. Seems, yeah.
Sounds good. Great.
Yeah, and I guess after that, just start on the SimPEG documentation once we release that to the world, which I'm really looking forward to doing that. There's some stuff that needs to get documented for that for sure.
Big undertaking there.
Yeah, so that's about it for me.
Anyone else have any quick reports? Okay.
So Dieter and I working still hard on this merger of EMG3D and SimPEG. We're still having a hard time this memory leakage. We actually tried many different things and finding very odd behavior. So on my Mac, it seems working well. On my Linux machine, it's getting worse. And there's a little bit different behavior on my cluster and Dieter's Linux machine. So yeah, we're a bit confused and getting out of ideas. We're hoping to kind of tackle that in the next week. So yeah, if somebody can provide a little bit of fresh eyes, that would be awesome.
Did you get a chance to try out that line memory profiler?
Yes, we did. We actually ran many memory profiles and still not catching up. There's an odd I think it's related to the minimization package because I think this iterative process of passing vectors to a JVAC and JTVAC and looping this over, it seems like there is a point where the memory can leak, which is very hard to keep track of. So what we're seeing in the JTVAC when we're calling EMG3D, sometimes like it just abruptly adds a memory, like a 10% of memory. And then it just keep piling and piling and throughout your inversion iteration, which actually runs a lot of JVAC and JTVAC, or maybe actually like hundreds of times. So the memory kind of explode. So anyway, I think that's where other than that, the code is actually working extremely well. So inversion is working quite well. So you can actually run, if you got big memory with no problem on a big inverse problem, but that's where we are.
So does that memory leak happen for like every type of inversion that you've been running, or just this, like the
Just
EMG3D?
Just this. I haven't. Other inversion I haven't seen. What's Dieter? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just thought that the weird thing is if we try to separate and if you run stuff SimPEG only, there just doesn't seem to be an issue. And if you do run stuff EMG3D only, then it doesn't seem to be an issue. And if you connect the two, there seems to be this problem and we don't exactly know where it happens between the connection. Because then it's extremely hard to say, does it happen in EMG3D? Does it happen in SimPEG somewhere? Is it the connection, but I don't know how? Is it multiprocessing? Yeah.
It happens.
Too many handles.
Yeah, with the serial versions, I think it's
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's complicated now.
Sounds really complicated.
Well, that's the reality, Shalom. So yeah, like if you want to solve any like big problem, it sometimes happens, and somehow, yeah, it's not a very good research problem, but you need to tackle it to do cool things. So we're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this is like research is like, you know, finding a memory leak. Like it sounds so exciting, right? Something that should be done.
Got much better. 10 years ago, it would first compile your own Python version, and then you can start doing something. So we have already a lot of time at hand.
I remember having to go to like weird sites to try to find a version of NumPy that worked properly with
exactly.
Man, you're lucky if you could find like a Python 3 version of NumPy's on Windows. And
then like for the last 2 years of the PhD, never change your computer. And if it breaks down, you're screwed because you're never going to bring that environment together again.
Definitely gotten much more improved now. Like I really appreciate the stuff like the Conda install makes it really nice for us to be able to distribute with that. Like I know there's some other like package managers like that that are doing similar things. They're a little bit more open. But it's just nice to have all those out there. People realized that it was a problem and then took steps to address it.
Yeah, and if nobody update, we're organizing again this AGU session. So yeah, if one of you actually can submit, that would be great. Or if you have somebody could poke to submit something, that would be great. So please advertise this. I think the due date is August 4th, the abstract due date. So we got several, 2 to 3 weeks.
And it's hybrid, right? So you can go or not go. Well,
that's where I just figured, and I'm not sure that I actually need to go because I was not planning to go. I'd probably with the CGU, but I think it's optional, so the speaker doesn't have to go. So
yeah.
So if any of you are considering submitting but you don't want to go, I think it's completely possible.
It's still going to be held in the same place this year.
I think it's New Orleans. Yeah, it would be better if that was San Francisco. Like,
Yeah.
with actually going, but New Orleans is too far.
Well, still, New Orleans isn't an awful place to have a convention. The SEG there, I thought was a good time. Anyone else have any quick updates?
Not here.
We can hope to see you guys all tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Listen to Soggy.
Yeah, this will be very new. I had to actually work hard to get some results out. So most of the things that you're gonna see tomorrow will be made in the past like couple of days or the past few hours of that talk. So I'm looking forward to.
I'm out of the loop, man. Where are you presenting?
It's in this our SimPEG talk that Lindsay sent out.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
It's okay, Soggy. We're excited. We don't want to hear a rehash of old stuff. We want new. So this is good.
Well, in that sense, that would be fun.
I'll probably be reaching out and seeing what we can, reaching out to a few people and make sure we got like for the meetup next weekend, to make sure that we have everything planned properly. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else that we need to go through today. Yeah.
It is going to be recorded, right?
Probably. Soggy, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Because I don't think I can make it, but I would like to check in later.
Okay. Exciting. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.